welcome back to my channel. My name is Tiffany for those of you who are new, so welcome. Today I'll be doing a 3 looks, 1 palette using the Urban Decay Born to Run palette. I did pick this up when the sale started. I've been playing with it a crap ton and I wanted to give you guys some inspiration, and it's just a good palette I think to do one of these videos with just because there's so many things you can do. And yeah, I'm going to do all 3 tutorials as a voiceover. The first day I'll be wearing a different different shirt just because I filmed that a different day. I did 2 looks a different day, and then I'm doing this one today while I'm filming this. So this is the 3rd look that I created, and I think it's probably my favorite. I just really like it, and the lipstick I'm wearing is the Born to Run lipstick in the shade 66. It's also from the collection, but yeah. Be sure and subscribe to my channel and comment down below what palette I should do this with next, and we'll get started.
Alright, to kick this look off, I'm going to start with the shade Weekender. It's just a really nice nude, and I'm going to take it on my Morphe E22. And I'm going to begin by just setting all over the entire lid. I did go in with concealer to prime my eyes. So before this step, make sure that you do have your eye primer on. I just already had mine done. But the shade doesn't really show up on my skin tone just because it is really light. So I'm just going to put a nice wash of this all over up to the brow bone before we go in with the next shade. Next, I'm going to go in with this shade right here called Baja, and I'm going to take my Morphe M433, and I'm going to place this shade in my crease and into my transition area. And I'm just going to keep building this color up. It does go on pretty nicely. It does blend out okay, but it just takes some time to build it up to get the full pigmentation that I'm looking for. And then I'm just going to go ahead and go in and do the other side. And again, build this up as well. And then I'm just going to show you guys a little clip of what it should look like after time blending. Alright, next I'm going in with this shade called Guilt Trip using my Morphe R42. I did wet that brush and I'm packing this all over the lid. My camera overheated, so it cut off half of my video. Sorry about that, but I'm just packing this all over the lid and letting it meet with the shade Baja. And in this next clip, you're going to see me smoothing all the edges out. I'm going to go in and do some more blending, but I just want to make sure everything is nice and even. Alright, next I'm going in with the shade right here called Hell Ride, and I'm using a fluffy Morphe brush that I have from the Copper Dream set, and I'm just blending this in my crease to blend out the purple and the orange, kind of mesh them together so there's no harsh lines. And I'm just doing this in windshield wiper motions. I kind of place the product in the center and the outer corner, and then I go back and forth, and then I'm just going to do the exact same thing on the other side as well. Alright, next I'm going to dip into this shade right here called Punk, and I'm going to deepen the outer corner using my Morphe M433, and I'm just going to deepen that outer corner. Like I said, I'm just going to start by packing it and then doing little baby circles on both sides just to kind of get the pigment on my lid before I go in and start actually blending it in more of windshield wiper motions to help smooth everything out. And then I'm just going to repeat and do the same thing on the other side as well. Alright, next I'm going back in with that shade Baja, and I'm using my Morphe M433. And I'm going to start by blending in the transition area again before I go in and finish up the eye look. I just wanted to make sure that everything is blended out nicely and that I didn't lose any of the warmth. Next, I'm going in with my mascara. I'm using the Marc Jacobs Velvet Noir Mascara just to go ahead and coat all of my lashes before I go in and do falsies. Alright, next I'm going to go in with the shade Baja using my Morphe M411, and I'm going to sweep this under my lower lash line. But I just wanted to mention that the lashes I'm wearing are the Ardell Mega Volume in the style 250. But I'm just going to go in with that shade Baja and sweep this under both of my lower lash lines. Alright, and next I'm going in with the exact same brush and dipping into the shade right here called Punk, just to kind of deepen up my lower lash line just a tad. As you can see, I'm starting it in the outer corner of my lower lash line, so it's the deepest out there, just kind of like it is on the lid as well. I just kind of wanted to mimic that. Alright, now I'm just going in with my Marc Jacobs gel eyeliner in the shade Earthquake, and I'm lining my waterline on both sides. It's just a really pretty dark brown. And then I'm going to go in and coat my bottom lashes with the Marc Jacobs Velvet Noir mascara that I used before. Alright, so that is it for this first look. The lipstick that I was wearing in these clips is the number 66 lipstick, which is also from this collection. Here's a little mini montage of the look for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this first look, and we'll begin with the second. Alright, to kick this look off, we're going to dip into the shade Weekender using my Morphe M433, and I'm just going to blend this all over the transition area up to my brow bone on both sides. Basically, all three looks are going to start the exact same just because there's only so many nude colors in this palette, just so you're aware. Alright, next I'm going to dip into this shade right here called Riff using my Morphe M433, and I'm just going to go into my crease area and kind of blend it a little bit up higher into the transition area as well. It's just the next stepping stone in the look, and I'm going to spend about 30 seconds blending and building up this shade in windshield wiper motions. Alright, next I'm going in with this shade right here called Punk, and I'm just using my tapered fluffy Morphe brush, and I'm focusing this shade on the outer corner in the center of my crease before I go in and do the windshield wiper motions. And then I'm going to do the same on the other side, as you can see right here, and after about a minute, this is what it will be built up to. Alright, and with a wet Morphe R42 brush, I'm going to dip into this shade right here called Wanderlust. And I'm going to start by packing this on the inner corner of both of my eyelids, and then I'm going to move on to the outer corner. I'm kind of doing like a little bit of a halo moment, but I'm not actually going to take any concealer and cut the crease at all, just because I want to keep this look as simple as possible and not have so many steps, but you easily can add concealer, and I'm just going to work on building this shade up. Alright, next using a wet Morphe M151, it's a really small brush. I'm going to go in with the shade Stranded up there, and I'm going to pack this onto the center of my lid and just make sure I take it all the way into that crease shade. And then I'm going to blend the Stranded shade into Wanderlust just to make sure it's not like a super harsh line and it looks nice and smooth. Alright, next I'm just going to go in with my mascara. It's the Marc Jacobs Velvet Noir mascara. And I'm also going to apply my lashes off camera. They are Dell Mega Volume in Style 250. Alright, now that my lashes are on and the rest of my makeup is complete, I'm going to go in and do my liner using the Marc Jacobs gel eyeliner in the shade Earthquake. Alright, using my Morphe E18, I'm going to go into the shade Wanderlust, and I'm going to place this on the outer and inner corner of my bottom lash line, but do not place it on the inner corner because after the next step, I ended up actually hating it, and I took off the inner part. It just kind of looked a little weird on my skin tone. I didn't really care for it the more I looked at it, but I'm still going to show you guys what I did just because I don't want to just make it seem like I didn't go in and fix everything, because I want to keep my mistakes in here just so you guys can see how I correct it later on and how it's going to end up looking, but just go ahead and skip the inner corner if you're following along. Alright, next I'm going in with the Morphe M151 and dipping into this shade right here called Stranded, and I'm going to put it on the center of my lower lash line and blend it into the Wanderlust shade on both sides of it. Alright, so now I'm just taking my Morphe M411 and sweeping the shade Riff under my lower lash line. Remember how I said I was trying to fix that inner corner that I didn't like? This is the first step that I took before I decided to just go ahead and take it off. Alright, so now I'm just going to go in and coat my bottom lashes. This is just to kind of see if maybe it would hide that green shade a little bit, because I do have pretty long lower lashes, to be honest, especially when they're coated with mascara. And then I realized that I still was not a fan, Alright, so I ended up just taking a Q-tip and wiping away the green from the inner corner. I just was not a fan and nothing was saving it. Alright, so that is it for this second look. I really like how it turned out even after the little bit of a hiccup. I'm wearing the Urban Decay lipstick in the shade Naked in case you are wondering. And here's a little montage of the second look. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I think it's a really fun and different look. And I love the pop of green. And now we will go ahead and get into the third and final look. Alright, to kick off this third and final look, we're going to dip into the shade Weekender with my Morphe M433. And I'm just going to set and put this in the entire transition area, just like all the other looks that I've done, and blend this up to my brow bone just to give us a nice, good base before we go in with all of the other shades that we're going to use. Alright, next I'm going to take my Morphe M433 brush again and dip into the shade Riff. And I'm going to put this in the crease area and just start building it up. It takes me about a minute almost, maybe not that long, but it does take some time building it up. But once it's built up, it's really nice, and I'm just kind of showing you guys the stages of me dipping in and like the pigment that I will have. So this is the second time. And now this is the third and final time that I have dipped in and where I'm going to leave it. Alright, now I'm going in with my Morphe M411 and I'm dipping into the shade right here called Baja. And I'm just going to place this in the lower crease area just to add a little bit more warmth. Again, I'm just building up this shade. The reason I chose this brush is because it's really tapered and I wanted to focus it in the deepest part of my crease, as you guys can see. But I'm just going to spend about 30 seconds blending and building this one up in windshield wiper motions and kind of packing it on. Alright, next I'm going in with my tapered Morphe brush and I'm using this shade right here called Good As Gone. And I'm going to pack this on to the outer corner first, and I kind of start to blend it out. I've used it a couple times besides just this tutorial, and I didn't really love this shade. You can't build it up too much, and it almost seems like the pigment just blends away. It's like the one shade in the palette I have a big issue with. So I decided to go in with the shade Punk using that exact same brush, and I'm just going to go over what I already kind of placed and actually build it up to that deeper, smokier brown outer corner that I'm wanting. And I'm just kind of doing little circles in like baby windshield wiper motions, and I'm going to start blending it into my crease so there's no harsh lines. Alright, now I'm going back in to the shade Baja using my Morphe M433, and I'm just going to kind of blend everything out, make sure there's no harsh lines and it's all nice and smooth with some warmth in my crease, and just blend out in windshield wiper motions in little circles. Alright, next I'm going to go in with the shade Big Sky using my Esom W21 brush, and I did wet it, and I'm just going to pack on this pretty blue shimmer all over the lid except for the outer V. I'm going to go in with the deeper shimmer in a second. It does take me a good amount of dipping back in and some time building this shade up and making sure it's nice and pretty where it meets my crease. So just note that. Alright, next I'm going to dip into the shade Radio right next to Big Sky, and I'm using that same Esom W21 and it is still wet. And I'm packing on that deeper blue on the outer corner and outer V of my lid. I just kind of wanted to add a little bit of dimension, and since I want to smoke out the outer corner, I thought it'd be fitting to add a deeper blue to have the lighter blue kind of blend into, if that makes sense. Alright, and now I'm going to dip into the shade Punk right here using my Morphe M411. It's that smaller tapered brush, and I'm using this to kind of smoke out the outer corner and then kind of blend out that shade into the Baja and the other warm colors that I have in my crease. I just want to make sure it's all nice and smooth and I still get that smoky feel. Alright, now I'm going to go back in with my Morphe M433 and dip into the shade Riff. And I'm going to take this in my transition area and just make sure that the shade Punk and Baja and everything else is nice and blended and smooth, and that there's no harsh lines. I like to go in with the shades that I used in the beginning just to kind of make sure everything is nice and smooth and blended out. So I'm just going back and forth in windshield wiper motions with this shade and touching things up a bit. Alright, and now I'm lining my eyes using my Tarte Gel Liner in the shade Black, and I'm just using a Morphe liner brush. I'm kind of speeding through this just because I'm just doing like a normal line. I'm not doing a wing or anything, and I wanted to keep this video a little bit shorter. Alright, now I'm going in and coating my lashes with my Marc Jacobs Velvet Noir Mascara before I go in and do my falsies. Alright, and using my Duo Lash Glue, I'm just going to pop on my lashes. These are the House of Lashes Iconic Lashes. Alright, while I was doing the rest of my makeup, I did already line my lash line using the Marc Jacobs Gel Liner in the shade Black. Alright, using the shade Riff, I'm just going to take my Illuminate by Ashley Tisdale brush, and it's the number 6 brush, and I'm sweeping this under my lash line. And I'm going to do the same on the other side as well. Alright, now I'm going to dip into the shade Baja using my Morphe M411. And I'm just going to sweep this under my lower lash line as well. I just love this shade because it adds such a nice warmth to the look. Alright, using a flat definer brush, I'm dipping into the shade right here called Good As Gone. And I'm just going to stamp this along my lower lash line, like where the liner is, just to kind of add a little bit more darkness and help the liner kind of pop a little bit more. Alright, using my Morphe E36, I'm going to go in with the lightest shade in the palette called Breakaway, and I'm going to highlight the inner corners of my eyes. And then I'm also going to go in with this shade and highlight my brow bone, just to add a little bit of a pop. I know it is really light, but it has like a slight shimmer to it. And to finish off the third and final look, I'm just going to coat my bottom lashes with my mascara. Alright, and that is it for the third and final look. This is how it turned out. I'm also wearing the number 66 lipstick again for this look. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and here's a little montage of how the look came out. I really love this look. I've worn this one a couple times personally. I think it has to be my favorite. That's why I had to save it for last, of course.
Alright, so that is it for this 3 looks, 1 palette video. I hope you guys enjoyed all 3 tutorials. I really have been enjoying this palette. There's so many looks that you can create. Like, honestly, if someone was to only have like 1 palette in their collection, I think this would be a great palette to have. You can just create so many different looks, and you can even do neutral looks. I just try to do more colorful looks because that's kind of why I bought the palette, and I really enjoyed it. I know most of the looks kind of start the same way. That's just because there's only like a couple transition shades. So yeah. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, be sure and give this video a thumbs up, and let me know if there's another palette you guys want me to do a 3 looks, 1 palette video with. Just leave that down below. Be sure and subscribe to my channel before you leave, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys!